Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because you want that deeper understanding, that clarity, without getting lost in the noise. Today, we're going deep into Book 3 of Marcus Aurelius' Meditations.
Right. And this isn't just ancient history. It's incredibly personal. You're reading the private thoughts of a Roman emperor trying to figure out how to live well.
Exactly. And its relevance today is, well, striking.
It really is. Meditations, it gives us this unique window. And book 3 specifically tackles themes we all grapple with: time, mortality, finding beauty, our inner lives, dealing with others.
So our mission here is to unpack those key insights for you, hopefully offering some, practical wisdom for your own life.
Precisely. To extract that guidance for living a more examined, maybe more fulfilling life.
Okay, let's dive in. He kicks off Book 3 with something quite urgent, doesn't he? This idea that life is constantly slipping away.
Yes, he does. He talks about life wasting away day by day. But there's a second layer to it, which is fascinating.
What's that?
It's not just time running out, but potentially our understanding, our ability to actually process and reflect might also fade before we die.
So it's a double warning, almost.
Exactly. It's a dual reason to make haste, as he puts it. Approaching death is one thing, but the possible decline of what he calls the power of contemplation, that's another. Our ability to grasp divine and human knowledge.
Our disciplined reason.
Right, that faculty you need for wisdom. He contrasts it with basic functions like, digestion or appetite. Those might keep going.
But the higher level thinking
Might diminish. It's a really sobering thought, isn't it? For you listening, the very capacity you're using now to understand this isn't necessarily permanent.
It puts a real emphasis on engaging deeply now while you have that peak capacity.
Absolutely. It connects directly to why you might seek knowledge in the first place. Aurelius is saying, look, this window for deep understanding isn't infinite. Seize it. Cultivate that disciplined reason intentionally.
Okay, so from that urgency, he then shifts perspective quite dramatically, looking at finding beauty in unexpected places, in nature.
Yes, it's a lovely passage. He points to things we might see as flaws, like bread cracking as it bakes, or figs splitting open when they're super ripe.
Or olives almost starting to rot.
Exactly. Things that aren't part of the original design, you might say. But he suggests these things actually help to adorn them, and they please the mind.
So it takes a certain kind of seeing.
It requires, as he says, feeling and deeper insight, a familiarity with how nature actually works. It's about seeing the elegance in the whole process, maybe even in decay.
That's a big shift for most of us, I think. We usually look for perfection.
Right. He's suggesting a deeper beauty in the natural unfolding of things. It prompts you, the listener, to maybe reconsider where you find beauty.
An aha moment, perhaps. Seeing beauty beyond the pristine.
Precisely. If you really get familiar with nature's ways, you can find pleasure even in what seems imperfect. It demands a more nuanced observation.
Then, following that, he turns to mortality again, but quite starkly this time.
Yes, very directly. He lists all these famous, accomplished people: Hippocrates the doctor, Alexander the Great, Caesar, Pompey, even philosophers like Heraclitus,
Socrates.
Democritus. And the point is, they all died. No amount of achievement or wisdom changes that fundamental fact.
It's universal.
Completely. And his conclusion is so blunt. Thou hast embarked, thou hast made the voyage, thou art come to shore, get out.
Wow. Just accept it as the natural end of the journey.
That's the core message: acceptance. And he even considers what might be next for you. Two possibilities.
Which are?
Either another life where the gods exist, which implies some continuity within the cosmic order, or a state without sensation. No pain, no pleasure. Freedom from being, as he puts it, a slave to the vessel, the body.
So either way, the call is towards acceptance, not fear.
Exactly. It's a way for you to potentially reframe anxieties about time passing, about the end. See it as natural, inevitable.
Okay. Now, shifting focus inward. This seems really crucial in Book 3. He warns quite strongly against getting caught up in what other people are doing or thinking.
Oh, very strongly. This is so relevant for us today. He asks, why waste your life pondering? What is such a person doing, and why? What is he thinking?
Because the cost is huge, right?
Yes. He says it distracts you from observing your own ruling power, your own reason, your own choices. It literally prevents you from doing something more worthwhile with your own mind.
It's easy to fall into that trap, especially, with social media and constant updates.
Absolutely. He advises you to check your thoughts constantly. Are they purposeful, useful, or just idle curiosity, maybe even malicious.
He pushes for this inner transparency, being able to honestly say what's on your mind without shame.
Yes, aiming for thoughts that are simple and benevolent, reflecting inner harmony and your nature as a social being.
Which leads him to describe this ideal person, doesn't it? Someone who stopped delaying and is trying to be among the best.
He does. He uses this striking image of a priest and minister of the gods, someone using their inner divinity, their reason.
And what are the characteristics of this person?
Well, he lists quite a few. Things like being uncontaminated by pleasure, unharmed by any pain, untouched by any insult. Basically, resilient.
A fighter in the noblest fight.
Died in justice, accepting fate, focusing on their own actions and the common good. Seeing other rational beings as kin.
It's a high bar, certainly, but it gives you a clear target, a model for a well-lived life.
It does. It's about finding fulfillment from within, through virtue and contributing, not from chasing external validation.
And he gets practical, too, offering guidelines for how to act.
Yes, principles like labor not unwillingly, consider the common interest, act with due consideration, avoid distraction.
Simple but profound if you actually apply them.
Very. And he adds cautions against studied ornament in your thinking. Don't be overly flashy or try too hard to impress.
And don't be too talkative or spread yourself too thin.
Right? Focus. And again, he brings back that inner deity, your reason as your guardian. Be strong, mature, ready for life's end without needing applause.
That self-reliance seems key.
It is. Inner integrity is the foundation, which connects to his next major point. Nothing is better than inner virtue.
He lists justice, truth, temperance, fortitude, and that inner satisfaction from acting rightly and accepting your lot.
And he challenges you, essentially. He says, if thou seest anything better than this, turn to it with all thy soul. But he clearly believes you won't find anything truly better.
Not external things like praise or power or pleasure anyway.
Those can't compare to the value of your inner deity, your rational, virtuous self. So give that precedence.
Simply and freely choose the better, meaning what's good for your rational nature.
Exactly. Choose what benefits your higher self, not just your impulses.
And that helps define what's truly profitable for you.
Yes. True profit isn't material gain if it compromises you. It's anything that doesn't force you to break a promise, lose self-respect, hate, suspect, curse, be hypocritical.
Or desire things that are fleeting and outside your control.
Right. True profit lies in protecting your moral core, cultivating your intelligence, your inner demon. And that, he suggests, frees you from fearing death.
He then paints this picture of the ideal state of mind, chastened and purified.
Free from corruption, impurity, any kind of inner sore or wound that's just skinned over, clean through and through.
And he uses that actor analogy.
Right. The actor who finishes their part completely, unlike someone who leaves the stage mid-performance. It's about living a complete, fulfilled life, integrated, before fate steps in.
A life without civility, affectation, blame, or needing to hide anything. Pure integrity.
That's the ideal. And central to achieving that is respecting your own judgment.
Your faculty which produces opinion.
Yes. You have control over whether your opinions align with nature and reason. That faculty, properly used, brings freedom from hasty judgments, helps build real connections, and aligns you with the divine, with reason itself.
It's about taking responsibility for your own thoughts.
Absolutely, yeah. Which brings us back to the brevity of life. He urges you, throw away then all things. Hold to these only which are few. Focus.
Remember, you only live in the present moment.
Exactly. Forget posthumous fame. It's fleeting, dependent on people who are also fleeting and might not even understand you. Live well now.
He also offers a practical method for understanding things better.
Yes, this technique of definition. Really look at something presented to you, define it, describe it, break it down.
See its substance, its nudity, its entirety.
Understand its parts, its purpose in the universe, its value relative to everything else, and importantly, what virtues you need to respond to it appropriately.
It's a tool for objective understanding.
A very powerful one. It helps you see where things come from: God, destiny, chance, or other people who might be acting out of ignorance.
So ultimately, how do you achieve that happy life he talks about?
He brings it together. Work with focus, seriousness, calm. Keep that divine part, your reason, pure. Act according to nature, truthfully. Don't be driven by fear or desire beyond the present action itself.
And he says, no one can stop you from doing this.
That's the empowering part. Your inner state, your choice to act virtuously that's within your control. External things can't ultimately prevent that inner peace.
He uses that analogy of doctors having their tools ready.
To illustrate that you need your principles, your understanding of divine and human matters readily available to. They're connected.
You can't handle human affairs well without reference to the divine, the rational order, and vice versa.
They're interwoven. Which leads to his final urgent plea in Book 3.
Stop wandering. Stop putting off self-examination.
Yes. Hasten then to the end which thou hast before thee. Throwing away idle hopes, come to thy own aid while it is in thy power.
Seize the day, essentially. Live intentionally now.
Take responsibility for your own well-being, your own virtue. Don't wait.
He even makes that subtle point about simple words like stealing or sowing requiring a deeper vision.
Right? It's not just the action, but understanding the moral dimension, the underlying principles.
Yeah.
Needs another kind of vision beyond just sight.
And finally, he differentiates the good person. It's not just about having a body, basic appetites, or even intelligence. Others have those.
Correct. The peculiar quality, he says, the defining trait of the good person is being pleased and content with what happens, with their assigned fate.
And keeping that inner divinity, that reason, undefiled and tranquil.
Living truthfully and justly, not swayed by what others think or do, just focusing on living purely, tranquilly, ready for the end, reconciled to their lot.
So recapping this deep dive into Book 3 for you listening, we've hit on the urgency of living wisely now, finding beauty even in imperfection, accepting mortality calmly, the critical need to focus inward.
Cultivating specific virtues, acting with intention, prioritizing that inner good over external rewards, defining what truly benefits you, maintaining inner purity, respecting your own judgment.
Valuing the present moment above all, seeking that deeper, defining understanding of things, and finally, embracing your fate with contentment.
These aren't just philosophical musings. They really do offer you a pathway toward a more meaningful life, maybe one that feels less overwhelming because the focus is internal.
Absolutely. It lines up with that desire for clarity and knowledge that truly makes a difference.
It's guidance that feels remarkably grounded and practical, even centuries later.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to take away, something to mull over. Reflecting on Aurelius's strong advice to focus inward, what's one specific area in your life where deliberately pulling your attention back from external events, opinions, or anxieties, and focusing instead on your own inner state, your own actions, might bring you the greatest sense of peace? What might you consciously choose to let go of dwelling on?
A powerful question to consider.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We hope this exploration has offered you some valuable perspective.